Hello, and welcome to this week's special Thanksgiving edition of AHL Insider Weekend Recap. My name is Shawn Perry, and over the next few minutes, we'll go over all of the exciting news and developments that happened over the last week in the American Hockey League. Now, one of the big stories in the AHL this year has been the ongoing increase in attendance. This is due in part to the NHL lockout, which has created a void for hockey that the AHL has gracefully taken advantage of. By providing fans new and old an exciting and family-friendly atmosphere to enjoy hockey, the AHL hopes to use this increased attendance to create a lasting impression on the market and create new fans for years to come. As of this week, overall attendance in the 30-team AHL stood at 970,416 after 184 games, an average of 5,274 per game from Abbotsford to Springfield. 5 clubs are averaging more than 7,000 per game, and another 10 are surpassing 5,000 nightly. Overall, that's a 12% increase from last season after the first 5 weeks of the year. Earlier this week on AOLSportingNews.com, AHL Commissioner David Andrews said, "The numbers are close to where we projected. We're seeing a good jump in franchises that are close to NHL cities, and we're up slightly across the board everywhere else." Commissioner Andrews continued, "The NHL is our partner, so we hope for a return as soon as possible. We have viewed the lockout as a chance for a brighter spotlight to be put, however long it lasted, on our league's franchises and players. In that respect, I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far. In my opinion, you should be." But attendance success isn't the whole story. Several clubs have reported increased sponsorships, media coverage, and social engagement on Facebook and Twitter sites all this season. In addition, according to the league, web traffic is up over 84%, and the league's number of Twitter followers has doubled to over 26,000 since last season. Add that to all the increased television coverage, both locally on such networks as Fox Sports and Time Warner Cable, as well as nationally on ESPN America and Sportsnet in Canada, and it becomes clear that the AHL has taken full advantage of the spotlight placed on them by the NHL lockout. In addition to all that increased television coverage, the league just signed a multi-year deal with Send2 News, a digital sports news agency who will create high-quality video productions and highlight packages for international distribution. Now, as opposed to providing a recap on last weekend's scores and attendance metrics, since it's already Wednesday, I thought it'd be more fun to preview some of the games coming up on this Thanksgiving Day weekend. This weekend features a bevy of quality matchups in the AHL, starting on Friday night when the Bridgeport Sound Tigers face off with their in-division rivals, the Connecticut Whale. This season has been one of the best ever for the AHL's Bridgeport Sound Tigers. They currently are sitting in 3rd place in the league's attendance average, are only 2 points outside of 1st place in the Eastern Conference behind the Springfield Falcons, and are 1-0 against their in-state rivals, the Whale, after beating them 6-4 in front of 8,000 fans in the Whale's home opener. But that's not all for you Connecticut hockey fans out there. Just 24 hours later, the Whale head home to face the defending Calder Cup champions, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs and has already owned 2 victories over the Whale this season, the Norfolk Admirals. Now, Saturday's game is part of a doubleheader featuring the Yukon Huskies and Air Force in what is being called Yukon Hockey Day. Depending on the success of this Saturday's event, Yukon Hockey Day should become an annual event in Hartford. And it's a great deal, too. For $10, you receive tickets to both games, so hurry up before they sell out. Another big pick for the weekend has to be the Charlotte Checkers facing the Oklahoma City Barons in a game that will be broadcast across the Carolinas on Time Warner Cable Channel 520 in the Carolinas. Now, the Oklahoma City Barons are of course stacked with such stars as Jordan Eberle and Taylor Hall, while the Charlotte Checkers have had an amazing season so far, currently sit in one of the first places in the Western Conference, and have a great attendance record. That same night, the Chicago Wolves will be sure to have the Allstate Arena rocking when they face off against division rivals, the Milwaukee Admirals, in a game broadcast locally in Chicago and nationally on all 4 regions of Sportsnet in Canada. While it's somewhat interesting to have 2 American teams being broadcast nationally in Canada, it makes sense when you consider that the Chicago Wolves are the affiliates for the Vancouver Canucks. Well, that about does it for another edition of AHL Insider Weekend Recap. As always, I am your host, Shawn Perry, signing off and wishing you a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving Day weekend. Now, I will see you here again next week at our normally scheduled time, but in the meantime, feel free to check out the AHL Insider Facebook page for updates, news, and analysis on everything AHL this week. Have a great weekend.